Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror thriller film, Day of the Dead, The Need to Feed. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins in a town in Colorado. The state unexpectedly issues a 24-hour quarantine exercise to the town and sends military forces, led by a captain and Corporal Sarah, to block their roads to keep people from exiting or entering the town. The announcement causes an outburst from its townspeople, who demands an explanation for the sudden exercise. While on post duty, Sarah encounters her acquaintances, a couple, who petition to let them leave the town to bring their ill son to a hospital in Boulder. However, they're confined inside the town for a whole day, so Sarah tells them to go to the town's medical center, since it's the fastest way for their son to get treatment. Eventually, people leave the roadblock and return back to their homes. Just then, 3 privates arrive to report under Sarah's troop. Sarah tasks the 2 privates to guard and secure the roadblock because she's going to visit her ill mother at their home. She then brings along Private Crane with her to build familiarization, since she notices he's a rookie. Meanwhile, Sarah's brother, Trevor, his girlfriend, his friend Kyle and Kyle's fling, hang out in an abandoned warehouse. During their stay, they notice Kyle is coughing and his nose bleeding. Shortly after, the group goes home, except Kyle's fling, who separates from them in fear of catching Kyle's sickness. However, Kyle's fling dies in the woods because an unseen beast captures and eats her and her smelly part. Trevor drops Kyle at his house. Then he goes home with his girlfriend. They take a smelly workout on the couch when Sarah unexpectedly barges into the house. Sarah leaves Crane behind in the Humvee to guard the car while she does personal business with her family. Sarah gets mad at Trevor for neglecting their sick mother over his personal agendas. Afterward, Sarah visits her mother to check on her health status. The mother claims she has a flu, but Sarah insists on bringing her to the hospital. Sarah then goes downstairs to ask when their mother got sick, and Trevor answers since morning. The girlfriend remembers Kyle showing symptoms too, which insinuates Trevor to visit his friend. However, Sarah forbids him to leave the house and instead orders him to clean up their mother while she personally checks on his friend. Sarah and Crane arrive at Kyle's house after a long drive. Upon entering the house, they discover the place is covered in blood. Kyle's parents are dead from the brutal mauling, and Kyle himself is nowhere to be found. Sarah tries contacting the captain via home telephone or cell phone to report such a gory scene, but there's no service or line. So they travel back home again to deliver Sarah's mother to the hospital. En route, Sarah contacts the captain with a radio to report the situation in Kyle's house, and so the captain sends police officers to investigate the crime scene. The car goes quiet after the call, when Crane blurts out of nowhere that he's a vegetarian. Sarah smiles at his comment and promises to keep it between themselves. Shortly after, Sarah reaches her house to get her brother and mother to the car. Afterward, they travel to the hospital to give treatment and medicine for their mother's sickness. During the road trip, the mother's nose bleeds too. Sarah then rushes to the hospital as their mother's health declines faster. However, when they arrive at the hospital, they see the lobby already packed with sick patients, experiencing the same symptoms as their mother and Kyle. While inside the hospital, the girlfriend brings Trevor with her to visit his confined father in a room. Meanwhile, Sarah sees Private Salazar in the hospital too, and not on his post duty. Sarah confronts his alleged slacking, but Salazar explains he was ordered by the captain to accompany him to the hospital. Sarah and Salazar then speculate the situation is no longer an exercise, but a health emergency, because half of the town is sick. Just then, the captain summons Sarah to meet Dr. Logan from the CDC. Before she leaves Salazar, she spots Crane catering to their mother while she's gone. Crane admits to the mother that he likes her daughter Sarah, when suddenly, she and every sick patient in a lobby freeze in place. Meanwhile, Sarah meets Logan in a private office. He asks if the corpses found in Kyle's house are covered in bite marks. Sarah finds the question strange, but she answers it's impossible to know. Then he asks next if there's a possibility that a wild animal mauled them, and Sarah answers it's possible if the animal could hide bodies behind curtains. At the same time, Trevor and his girlfriend witness her father freeze in place too. While he's frozen, a visual presentation shows a virus infiltrating his body to transform him into an undead. The visual of the girlfriend's father changes into rotten skin and attacks his own wife. Trevor and his girlfriend escape the room as soon as her father acts violently. Across the town and the hospital, the people turn into zombies. However, these zombies may appear savage, but they're able to retain habits they did when they were still humans. Meanwhile, police officers visit Kyle's house to investigate the crime scene. However, Kyle reveals himself, who's now a zombie too, and attacks each cop inside the house. Back in the hospital, the undead overrun the whole place. Trevor and his girlfriend escape from the hospital through the back door, leaving behind Sarah, their mother, and some inside. While they search for a temporary hideout, zombies target the captain and eat him alive. Sarah and another two of them have no choice but to save themselves. Sarah then finds an unoccupied storage room. As they go inside, Logan purposely pushes Crane out of the way to go in first. Crane drops on the floor, accidentally losing Sarah's car keys in the hallway. A zombie nearly eats him alive, but luckily Sarah intervenes and saves him. Crane enters the room, grabs Logan's collars, pins him on a shelf, and confronts him for nearly letting him get killed. However, he gets distracted as more zombies try breaking inside the room, so he and Sarah seal a window and door with shelves to keep them out. Once the room's secured, Sarah asks for her car keys, but Crane realizes he lost the keys during the escape. Sarah then thinks of the captain's car in the parking lot. However, they need his keys, so they travel through the air duct to reach his corpse. They find his body and retrieve the keys when they surprisingly meet Salazar, who's still alive. He admits he hid inside a closet after everyone started acting crazy. Finally reuniting and obtaining the key, they go back to the air duct. But the zombie captain resurrects and attacks Sarah. Sarah musters all of her strength to escape from the captain's grasp. Sarah and the two privates eventually return safely to the storage room, but the zombie captain follows them and bites Crane, who's simply closing the vent grill. Sarah immediately pours bleach on his wound to dry it out. Salazar instantly points a gun at Crane, since they know what happens after getting bitten. However, Sarah defends Crane and offers she'll do the killing instead when the time comes. Salazar eventually gives in and agrees to her decision. Meanwhile, Trevor and his girlfriend manage to find shelter from a local DJ inside a radio station. Inside, the DJ sends SOS on the radio for help, but no one responds. They also meet the couple without their son, who sadly passed away due to the outbreak. While they wait for help, the DJ coughs uncontrollably. Back in the hospital, the soldiers and Logan escape through the window and then defend themselves using makeshift weapons against zombies that are attacking them. As they reach the parking lot, Logan sneakily separates from the group, goes to his car, and abandons the soldiers. Either way, the soldiers know how to defend themselves. There's a zombie horde blocking the captain's car, so they throw a massive Molotov to burn them. The horde immediately dies from the fire, which allows the soldiers to get inside the car. The soldiers leave the hospital in one piece and later travel to a gun store to obtain guns. Salazar goes in first, while Sarah binds Crane's wrists in case he turns into a zombie. Inside the store, Salazar and Sarah gather as many weapons as they can. They shortly return to the car, where they find Crane slowly turning into a zombie. Salazar wants to kill Crane already, but Sarah convinces him not to, because Crane is harmless and bounded. The soldiers intend to leave town, but they hear Trevor on the radio asking for help. So Sarah goes back to town to save her brother. Meanwhile, in the radio station, Trevor's girlfriend kills the DJ right after he turns into a zombie. Then, Trevor spots his mother walking aimlessly in front of their building. Trevor is unaware that his mother's a zombie now, so he goes out of the building, hoping to save her, but the girlfriend tries to stop him. Trevor leaves the building, and his zombie mother finds him across the street. She runs towards Trevor to eat him and his smelly part, when suddenly a car emerges and collides against his mother. Trevor cries as he witnesses his mother die in front of him, but Sarah exits from the car and explains it's no longer their mother. Trevor is unable to function yet, so Sarah tasks his girlfriend to call the survivors upstairs. The girl then goes upstairs to do what's told, but she finds the place suddenly quiet. Just then, she finds the husband dead and the wife already a zombie. Fortunately, Trevor goes upstairs too, so he and his girlfriend work together to kill the zombie wife. They push her together off the window, where she plummets to death. The group reunites inside the car, and together, they travel to the roadblock to leave the town. However, upon arriving at the place, they find the roadblock infested with zombie soldiers too. The group has nowhere to go, but fortunately, Trevor offers a temporary shelter, which is the abandoned warehouse. Sarah agrees to his decision, so she drives the car into the woods to get there. However, during their travel, they encounter zombie Kyle, who manages to damage their windshield. Sarah purposely crashes the car into a tree to trap him. Afterward, the group leaves the vehicle, and then Sarah shoots Kyle in the head. Since they have no car, they travel by foot to reach the warehouse. They shortly arrive in the place and seal every existing opening. However, Zombie Crane strangely shouts. The group realizes that he's alerting other zombies to their location. Zombies quickly reach and infiltrate the warehouse, so the group shoots their guns as they retreat deeper inside the shelter. They discover an underground bunker along the way and use it to keep off zombies. While inside the bunker, they also find an empty secret facility. They investigate the facility and find an online computer displaying live deletion of files. They know they're not alone, so Salazar and Sarah search across the facility, while Trevor and his girlfriend stay behind to learn more about the files in the computer. The two soldiers shortly find Logan, who is deleting files and destroying evidence about a research project named Project Wildfire. They threaten him to reveal the truth, or else he'll never see the daylight again. So Logan confesses he's among the chosen scientists to create a biochemical agent, but he denies the occurring outbreak is caused by their research. Suddenly, Trevor and his girlfriend barge inside the room and reveal that Logan's research caused the outbreak. Everyone regroups inside a room, and Trevor and his girlfriend show a clip recorded 3 days ago by Dr. Engel, the head scientist of the research. Dr. Engel explained the virus they created, mutated, and turned every scientist in the facility into biological weapons. The video ends with Dr. Engel transformed into a zombie and left the room. Logan elaborates the virus was intended to paralyze the enemy troops by shutting down their neural system for 6 to 7 hours. It's supposedly harmless, but they never expected it to mutate. Salazar then asks why they're not sick from the virus, and Logan answers it's simply because there are people who have a natural immunity to specific viruses, but there's no more saving grace once they're bitten. The group suddenly hears a cry outside the hallway and realizes it is from zombie Dr. Engel. Logan fears that if the hypothesis is right about the virus enabling the infected to retain a part of themselves from the past, then Dr. Engel would be the smartest zombie among the undead. The group demands Logan for another exit, but unfortunately, it only has one and is currently blocked by zombies. It's a good thing Salazar listens in his history class, because he discerns that the bunker was made during the war, and it contains missile silos that they can use to blast their exit. While they search for the missile, zombie Dr. Engel captures Logan and throws him dead in front of the group. Sarah and Salazar then try dispatching zombie Dr. Engel, but he's smart enough to hide in the ventilation system. They return to the plan to search for the missile silos, so they split into two groups. Sarah and Salazar successfully locate the missile room, but zombies overrun the place and quickly attack Salazar. Sarah escapes from the room and reunites with Trevor and his girlfriend. Sarah grieves for a moment until she recognizes the room is filled with missile propulsion tanks that they can use to make big flamethrowers. They only need to gather the horde in one place and then ignite the tanks using sparks from live wires to incinerate these zombies. The movie ends with Sarah running straight into a room packed with zombies. She lures them out when suddenly zombie Dr. Engel attacks Sarah from behind. Zombie Crane from the horde witnesses Sarah in pain, so he strangely pulls up a gun and shoots at Dr. Engel to save her. Dr. Engel releases Sarah and goes to Zombie Crane to behead him. Afterward, Sarah successfully attracts and directs the zombies to their giant flamethrower. Then she signals Trevor and his girlfriend to ignite their weapon, which sends the whole hallway into a living hell. Sarah, Trevor, and his girlfriend finally leave the bunker and ride a parked car to escape their town for good. This Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.